let me set up where I can do like a real party. Where's
Oh,
like the best party background?
let's see. What's a good party background? Uh, what's this? Oh, I'm in a car. No, that's not that great. And now it's time to party. Welcome to Coast to Coast with Creany and the Gipper. I
Hi.
am Creany, and this is my dear friend the Gipper, Jere Pilapil.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
We started a little late because the media does not want us to send our message out there.
It's classic left-wing media trying to keep down the voice of two middle-aged white men.
I'm middle-aged. I'm 22.
Well, let's say middle-aged looking.
Sure. I know it's hard to tell because of my youthful skin and my joyous nature and my hip references. Lil Wayne would say the same. But Rob, are you having an okay week? You look great.
Oh, thank you. You look great as well. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, I've been babysitting.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
Really
What have you been doing?
I mean, just thinking of killer bits, slaughtering audiences online,
Sure.
making a lot of money.
What are some of your most recent killer bits?
You want to do a little monologue sesh right now? I think
Let's do
we
a
should
little bit of
jump
a
in.
monologue sesh. Let's jump in with some monologue stuff.
Okay, I mean, age before beauty. So why don't you kick off the old monologue,
All right.
and
Well, this
I'll
is
jump in with some of these
something I've been
bits.
working on. I think it's kind of funny.
Sure.
So we're all in quarantine now, and I've noticed that being in quarantine is a lot like being an astronaut. You know, there's so many similarities. For instance, you got to put on a bunch of stuff before you go outside. And it's like if you go outside, it could kill you. You know, and
What's this guy talking about?
I'm peeing in my.
It's nothing like being an astronaut. The hell?
Well, I mean, it's not exactly. That's where the comedy comes in. It's not exactly like it, but I'm relating two disparate things together. Sorry, who are you?
Oh, Rob, I should tell you. I felt like you really weren't giving me the support I needed on the show. So I hired an emotional support co-host for myself. This is Bush Tornado.
Hey, you the man, Gary. Killing
Thank you.
Loving
Thank
it,
you,
dude.
Bush.
So Bush is the guy who's here to be like a third co-host to kind of back us up a little bit.
Well, he backs me up. That's why I pay him. He
the big bucks. Rich guy balling over here. Should have seen this guy at the club last night. Gary.
That's right. We go to a digital Zoom club.
Hell yeah. Don't be modest. This guy's killing it at the digital Zooms.
Let me say this about dance clubs. You ever notice that the music always sounds a little repetitive? You hear,
you're
bump,
killing us,
bump,
Gary.
bump.
You're killing us. Stop it.
That's not a good joke. It's not.
You're the man, Gary.
That's not.
And,
I know. I've been to those clubs. I've been there. The music it's the same. It's the same.
You go to these places, these girls, they're like, let me put my whole outfit on, and they're wearing just this.
These girls.
It's like it's 2 degrees out.
I can usually take maybe one or two home that are the runoff from this guy, because this guy's getting all the ladies. Gary. Say his name. GP.
There's so much wrong with that bit. I mean, I think it's kind of derogatory towards women, first of all. I think also 2 degrees out. You live in Los Angeles. It's never 2 degrees out. I think that I don't ever think you go home with so many girls that your co-host gets.
Shut up. Stop it. Stop talking.
All right, let me try.
Gary hasn't talked for a bit.
Let me tell one of my jokes, maybe, and maybe you'll like my jokes as much as you like Gary's. Boy, I'll tell you, this summer's been rough. I much preferred hot girl summer to dry cough feverish girl summer.
That's not cool. That's not everyone. Yeah, you shouldn't talk about coughing right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't like the current situation. Last summer, Hot Girl Summer was better. It was preferable to the current situation, which is bad.
Do you ever notice?
Yeah,
You
we
ever
do.
notice?
We do.
Popular songs are
All over the radio. You got it.
They're everywhere. You get
Go
it,
for it,
Bush.
dude. You get it. You get it.
So, what if?
Yeah.
What if?
Kill their ass.
What if Nicki Minaj's WAP was
don't do it.
sung
Don't do it.
by former President Reagan?
Yeah, I vote for it. All right.
Wouldn't it sound weird where he's going, well,
that would sound weird.
Well, there's I believe there's some ladies in this domicile that aren't
tear down that wall, yeah.
aren't the most faithful of sorts. So.
Oh yeah, pump it up, yeah. Come on.
Yeah. Well, you bring up,
that's right.
You bring up,
yeah.
WAP.
Oh yeah, you got it, Gary. That's right.
Yeah.
You get slam, Gary.
I have a WAP myself. I have a wet ass penis. It gets swampy down there. Come on, that's at least as good as what Gary said.
Gary. Oh yeah. I'm sorry, when you said Gary, I thought he was gonna start talking.
Bush has really emotionally supported me. I think in a way that Rob has lacked on the show, and
I feel like I'm very emotionally supportive. I sometimes worry that I'm too emotionally supportive to you.
You give off a little bit of an aggressive vibe, I would say.
Aggressive. Tear his ass down, Gary. Fuck him up.
I don't know how you babysit. Where are the cages around you, Rob? You seem
the dude's probably like, like you shouldn't trust him around kids.
What is that supposed to mean? What is that insinuating?
Yeah. Go, Gary. You're the man. Trust you with my kids. Trust you with my wife all alone.
Oh my God. That's so nice of you.
I would hope you'd trust any of your friends around your wife alone.
And not you, dude. Gary. Yo, talk about old times, dude.
Oh, so you have seen the show before?
I've seen Gary's parts.
He only watches my parts on the show. What happens if you watch Rob's parts, Bush?
Throw up. A straight up barf. Yeah. One time I ate a whole bowl of tomatoes, and then Rob came on.
Just a bowl of tomatoes?
It's his favorite snack.
That's stupid. What's wrong with you? Who eats a bowl of tomatoes?
He's a vegan too, Rob, so maybe you should back off.
I'm vegan and I'm Italian and I vote. What up? So Rob came on and I straight up barfed and it looked like marinara sauce. And it was like the time me and Gary made a pizza. You know, Gary.
Do you want to tell a pizza story right now?
I want you to straight up order a pizza right now, dude. You're killing it.
Thank you, Bush. Bush, how'd you spend 9/11? Did you forget to do anything?
Gary, yeah, even when you're political, you're killing it, dog. That's great.
Yeah, I toe the line.
Yeah, you know.
Rob, do you want to do one more joke and just see if you can win Bush over?
Yeah, I'll
Bush.
Yeah.
Give him a fair shake. Let him, he's had, look, between you and me, he's had kind of a rough life. So, maybe give him a little something here, okay?
I mean, he doesn't pay me like you do, but
I know, but do it for me. Do it for me, okay?
I can't say no to that effing face, dude. Straight up, love it. Cool. Glasses, beard.
Go ahead, Rob.
I used to describe myself as a dom until I found out that that's actually short for a dominant, not a Dom DeLuise type.
Oh, sorry, Gary, I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it.
Oh man, you're getting sick.
I said-
It's like you're sicker than an astronaut in quarantine. We have fun.
The astronauts in quarantine. I love it. It's so funny.
Bush Tornado. Round of applause for my co-hosts. Bush Tornado. Rob, those are
Is
great
Bush
jokes.
hanging out the whole show? Is he going to be doing this the whole show?
He's going to tone it down a little, I think.
Less vomit. Still only laugh at your parts, but not
Yeah.
vomit so much of my part.
We turn to Bush when we need him.
Yeah.
Who do we got up first? Who do we have on the old lineup, the docket, the scale here? Some funny folks on the show.
Our next guest, well, I guess technically our first guest, because Bush is, of course, a co-host for some reason. We're going to have to start calling the show co-host to co-host to co-host. All right, look, I'm working hard, okay? Our first guest is hilarious. She took a class that we taught, and she was so funny that we needed to have her on the show. Please welcome Elle Levine. Welcome, Elle.
Thank you. Am I supposed to continue talking?
Yeah, I mean,
You do whatever you want.
Really, yeah, do whatever you want.
The other day I was on Tinder. You know, I'm looking for a new boyfriend. My current boyfriend isn't very happy about that, but that's, you know, not my problem. And I was like thinking back in time when, like, you know, when before Tinder, what did we have? We had party lines. Do you guys remember party lines?
Mm-hmm.
Where like it was all like a giant leap of fucking faith. You would call this number and you would give them your name, and then like you would be prompted to give like your description. If you were like a girl, you would have to give like your measurements, because that was really, really important back then. And I didn't know how that worked, because I wasn't a woman, so I didn't need to remember those things. So I would just like say like random numbers like 47, 92, 11. And it made perfect sense somehow. So I would connect with these random dudes, and like we would talk, and like eventually like we would meet. And as a 15-year-old, you know, looking to hook up with adults, it was a godsend for me, especially as a trans person. My first time meeting a guy there, I took a train from Brooklyn to Queens, and I remember I had this image in my head of like this like really like tall, dark, smoldering man, you know, because you build it up in your head, right? Because there are no pictures. There's only a voice, you know, and there's like this idea. He's like 6'11", he's like 200 pounds, you know, it all makes sense. And then you get there, and like it's a meatball. Like literally, I got there, and it was a fucking meatball. And I remember, you know, little underage me, you know, standing there looking like a complete snack, looking at this other not so snacky, well, I guess sometimes snacky meatball person. And he was like, he looked at me, and he was just like, "Oh, you must be Elle." And, you know, me, of course, was like, you know, yeah, I need a ride home, because this isn't gonna work. It's unfortunate. Like he was selling his car that day, and I remember I let him do his business, and I told him I'd be right back, and I walked all the way from Queens to Brooklyn.
Wait, he was selling his car and meeting up potentially for sex with an underage person.
Well, he didn't know. I'm 16. I told him I was like 19. You know, you can never tell when you're 18, because like, you know, it's like right on a dot is really suspicious. But if you add a year to it, so it's like, she's not lying. If she was lying, she would have said she was 18.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to lie on AOL chat rooms. This sounds out of context pretty bad, but I was a 14-year-old man, and I was on chat rooms, and I would say I was 27, because it seemed like such an age that like why would you say you're 27? And I always said Florida, because it was the same time zone as Massachusetts. So it was like, I get a sense of it. And I do distinctly remember someone asking me, do you want to rent a car? And I was like, I could have done that 2 years ago legally. I don't need to do it now. I like answered it that way and then just blocked the person.
Oh wow.
I had something similar happen to me. I was in a party line, and back then you couldn't, there were trans people didn't really exist, at least not in the cis world, and they were questioning my gender, and I remember like they were all like they were divided, like, oh, that's a man or that's a woman, and then like a voice came out from like all the other voices, and they asked me like, oh, well, if you're a woman then you would know what this is, and she asked me what TSS is, and like I normally I wouldn't have known this, but since I had gotten into the habit of taking like long shits in the morning, I would like start reading things from underneath the sink, and I would read my mom's tampons, at least the back of it, and like it was toxic shock syndrome for all the men out there, and it's what you get when you leave it. I don't remember because I've never used one, but if you put a tampon in and you leave it there for too long, it'll fuck you up. But like, how fortuitous for this little bit of information to stick around. And they all believed me from that point on. It was like, who knows that? She knows that. Only she would know that. I just like, I'm so confused about pedophiles. Like why they want to like fuck children. Like, have you ever spent any time with children? They're fucking annoying. I don't understand how much patience do you have to deal with a fucking child and then still be erect and want to fuck them. I'll go on a date with an adult man and he'll start talking for like 2 minutes and I'm like, ugh, can you imagine a child? Ugh.
I have some friends that are attracted to just stupid people, and that just confuses me.
That's not where I thought that was gonna go.
I have some friends that will really immediately and vehemently debate the difference between pedophile and a febophile.
What's a febophile?
A febophile is like someone that's attracted to like pubescents or teenagers. So it's like, I don't know. But if someone is like having sex with a 14-year-old and you call them a pedophile, and then someone else is like, actually, technically it's an ephebophile, you're like, technically you should be in jail. That's something I know about from the series finale podcast.
And they should let Woody Allen direct their next 10 movies.
Check it out. Those guys are not great. They're very nice guys that bring that up a lot. But yeah, no, I have some friends that are attracted to dumb people, and I'm always so confused. It's like, isn't that exhausting?
Are you talking about me?
Your husband. I'm happy to hear that you consider me a friend, Senator Warren.
I don't have many.
I live in Boston. Probably my closest friends are Senator Elizabeth Warren, Larry Bird, and Mark Wahlberg.
That's fair.
Same.
I always struggle with the gimmick of healthcare worker porn because I worked in a hospital, and I've never seen a nurse that's smiling, and I've never seen one that's not in a rush doing the doctor's job and knows she's not getting paid for it. It's like the nurse fantasy to me, especially in COVID times, is usually somebody who's like, I just don't know how we're going to get through this. Rob, you ever date outside your age, or Elle, or anybody? What's the big age range?
Yeah, I'm dating someone who's 14 years younger than me, which is a little bit weird. You'd think
she's like, 14 years old. Is that correct? Is that what you mean?
I am very young.
I just turned 15.
There she is.
Hey,
how'd you get out of that pit you have?
And you'd think there'd be like a lot of cultural differences being our age difference, but I'm 42 and I'm from just outside Boston, and she's 28, but she grew up in rural Maine. So like we both are kind of from the 90s, you know, like, you know, like,
I too am. I have like the same dating gap. I'm the wall, and my boyfriend is like 14, 15 years younger than me. And it's really hard when I have to change his diapers. But I make it work.
Yeah, my girlfriend complains about the same thing.
For me.
He's an adult man, but he just happens to shit himself a lot. A lot of people get really confused. I'm fucking a child. I told you, they're annoying.
I'm not confused about that joke at all. That's my fake cry. It's based off someone's real cry that I knew that cried funny. And this,
An ex-girlfriend of Gary's that Gary brought up to me recently, and I was like, who? And Gary said, you were in the car with her literally hundreds of times. And I was like, oh yeah, she just never talked. I just don't remember her at all.
She was super nice, and God bless her, had she lived. She, most women don't make it through a relationship with me. They hurl themselves in front of a bus constantly. But she would get upset, and then she would mush up and then go. And you want to be a good person and listen, but at the same time, that's so funny.
Yeah, and then our friends Tim and Ahmed stole it and used it in a sketch. And used it in Beverly sketch.
It's public domain. Her cry is nobody's property. Do you think you could do a party line commercial now?
Oh my God, hi. How are you? I've been here all alone all night long, eating all this ice cream and steak. I really love it. If you could just come here and just share this corn on the cob with me. Now.
Hey, I was just sitting at home in my big comfy chair. I was just looking for somebody cool. Who should I talk to?
I'm all alone, looking for some companionship.
Do you like sardines? I like sardines. Call me if you want to eat sardines with me.
Do you think it's strange that they never really solved the Atlanta child murderer case? I do. Call today.
That gum you like is coming back into style.
Is John Benet Ramsey really dead? Or is she just faking it for attention? Call me.
The Menendez brothers had an alibi.
I'm all alone, just wondering, was 9/11 an inside job?
The conspiracy party line is here for you, just like the Clintons were for that pizza shop that they had a child hidden under.
Hey, QAnon makes a lot of good points.
Do you like putting hamsters up your butt? I know that famous TV star does. Call me.
I know two things. My beard is so wet right now, and Epstein didn't kill himself.
I consider Richard Gere a movie star, not a TV star.
It was Richard Gere, but who knows who else in Hollywood likes putting rodents up their ass? Call me now. Are you closeted and want to suck a dick but can't handle the fact that the body might look like a man's? Call me now. I have a 9-inch penis and 34 fucking D.
Do you hear radio chatter randomly? Because the government has bugged your room, just like they did Lee Harvey Oswald before he was even a suspect. Call
A lifetime of fluoride is basically a lobotomy.
Chemtrails killed my ex-husband, and I couldn't be any happier.
Hello, America. You want to get handsy and hot? I do. Call your senator today. Great to be here. Thanks.
Is everyone in Hollywood a pedophile? Let's get hands-on and find out.
Soy makes you impotent.
My husband is impotent. Bruce.
I think that bit has been brought to a close. Elle, we love your thoughts and your sole opinions, not the written opinions of anyone on the show. Nicely done, Elle Levine, everybody.
Oh, great. This is very exciting, Gary. Are you excited about our next guest?
I'm so excited about this next guest.
I mean, we've gotten some pretty big names on the show in the past.
Cherie DeVille, Ray Bamford.
Ray Bamford. We had a good boy, big name.
Edie Amin was on.
We had a plate of lobster.
Michael Bay, Donna Bin Laden. There's been a lot of people on that have made a difference, but I think this is one that's truly a big get for us. You've heard her a couple of times already, and we're so grateful that she's able to join us.
From my home state, and get your home state, my current state. Please welcome
Senator
Elisabeth Warren.
Elisabeth Warren.
Thank you. Thank you.
Senator, good to see you.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Now, you're off the campaign trail. You had a fantastic run. You had my vote. Obviously, it went a different way, and now you've wholeheartedly thrown your support behind Vice President Joe Biden as well as Kamala Harris. I'm just wondering, like, what are you doing specifically to try to help the party and move things forward for the Democrats?
Frankly, I ran for president, and that was my contribution. It was a first woman of color to have a major presidential campaign.
What woman of color?
A lot of firsts in my campaign. I was the first woman of color to receive tenure at Harvard Law. I was the first person to sign the Constitution. That's the USS Constitution, the battle.
You signed the ship?
Now,
well, yes, it was during a botched program to connect with urban youth. I tagged the USS Constitution, "Make love, not warn."
Now, I believe you may have been the first woman of color to get tenure at Harvard, but by the time you ran for president, you were, correct me if I'm wrong, no longer a woman of color. Is that true?
I've always been a woman of color. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, you grew up with believing that you were of Native American descent, but since have found out that is maybe not true. Is that? Am I?
Look.
Easy mistake. Hey, I mean, I've made mistakes.
Look, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
My color is beige. It's a pinkish beige. Okay. And now, if you want to debate and do genetic testing, well, frankly, you be my guest, but my color is my color, and it is my color, okay? And so folks often ask me, what would you say to your detractors who want to call you Pocahontas?
Mm-hmm.
Derogatory. First of all, I would ask those people, have you ever Heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon?
I haven't. I have not. No.
Folks, have you asked the grinning bobcat, frankly, why he grins?
No.
No. I haven't.
Can you sing with all the voices of the mountains? Folks, can you paint with all the colors of the wind?
You know, I'll say this. I understand lineage it can be very complicated. Gary, for instance, recently just learned that he's ethnically Jewish. My father, a lot of people don't know, is tall, so you never know.
Yes. Well, you know, that's another first that my campaign can take credit for. Not only was I the first person to say that B-word lives matter,
wait.
Wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, can we stop from what
You
B-word?
said B-word, you mean Black Lives
Bitch?
Matter?
Are you saying
I don't know if you're supposed to say that.
bitch or
That's what
black?
You could say either, but
Yeah. B-word.
Wait,
live.
so,
Bitch.
so black,
Bitch. What?
You said it. You said it. No.
right? It's
Bitch
just,
lives matter is what you're saying.
But yes, that's the movement I'm referring to. I was the first to
I'm
endorse.
not familiar with the bitch lives matter.
No, it's the one that Jerry said, the B word.
Oh, okay. Yes, that I'm familiar with.
Yeah, the movement, the racial
you can say
movement.
on this movement. Did you find yourself attacked at all by the right for taking such a controversial stance for B Lives Matter?
Well, you know, Gary, frankly, yes. I received a lot of pushback from the right. Donald Trump and his cronies, they started with the attacks on people of color, on B words, on
when you say it sounds like you're saying you mean bitches.
no. But I mean black.
In this case, you should not say blacks. You can say Black Lives Matter, but if you're saying you shouldn't say blacks, you say black people.
No. I said B word lives. That's
yeah. You can say Black Lives Matter. That's fine, but if you should not say the blacks, say black people instead. Right? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Are you done?
Yeah. Have you met Bush? This is Bush Tornado.
Was I the first sitting U.S. Senator to say B word lives matter? I was also the original Rachel Dolezal. Thank you. So if you want to talk to me about diversity, about racial inclusion, about frankly, any of the menu of things, okay.
Okay, well, let's move a little bit away from this the race stuff. You're very critical of the big banks. Obviously, there's a lot of things that you'd love to change about the banking system in the U.S. But if you could change one thing, what would be your number one thing you'd love to change?
As someone who knows the working class, I've always been a blue collar lady. I've always been, a trailer park slut.
Did you say trailer park S word?
As a working class broad, okay, I would eliminate the banks entirely, and I would make people store their money in their mattresses like I do. And frankly, as the voice for the working class, I can tell you that I am so out of touch with billionaires. I call them Williaminaires.
Senator, we want to open it up to some of our guests to see if they have any hard-hitting questions. And I know that you can handle yourself if that would be okay with you, Senator Warren.
I'd love to hear from all you ugly people here. It is frankly a delight to be here tonight, and I am so proud of all of you for taking time out of your day on a Saturday night to tune into a comedy show when you could be just watching a Hunger Game.
People love watching a Hunger Game.
Senator Warren, during the debates, there weren't a lot of questions that came from people of color.
That was by design.
Okay. So my question is, if you had a douche with one item, would you choose Pine Sol or Fabuloso?
Option C, Citrus Magic.
It's a
Brave
it's a
answer.
real- it's a great answer.
Does that answer your question, young lady?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Wonderful.
I've read over your plan for stuffing money into mattresses. I was wondering if your plan is for the government to provide these mattresses, because many of them are memory foam and they will not hold money. Bank lives matter.
That's not the B word that I was referring to. You know, look, it doesn't have to be a memory foam mattress. It doesn't have to be a box spring. It doesn't have to be, whether it be an air mattress, even a waterbed would do. Just everybody needs a place to store.
Where would I put my water then, Senator?
In the sink. What? Sir, look, I can see that you are trying to trip me up here at my confirmation hearing, and I do not appreciate it. Sir, now let me ask you here, how much profits of all the hundreds of dollars that are coming in tonight from this comedy show, how much of that is going towards your corporate sponsors?
Speaking of corporate sponsors and politics, I want to just take a moment to just point out President Werewolf. It's a new comic book from cargulish-chow, available now. President Werewolf. What if the president was a werewolf?
He might be.
It's true.
Oh my God.
I mean, there's never been a president I would be less surprised to learn was a werewolf in my life. If I learned Ronald Reagan was a werewolf, I would be like, what? If I learned Trump was a werewolf, I'd be like, well. Yes.
Well, he's actually, what he is he's just a big pair of tits on a bagel.
Oh, there's
a bagel.
There's a picture of
Bagel.
the leader of the free world. It's a pair of tits on a bagel. That's beautiful art. I really love it.
Yes.
There's no proof that he's not tits on a bagel, and we can't not say that he's not tits on a not bagel.
A lot of people are saying that he's tits on a bagel.
Many people have said
I'm
so.
not saying that.
Hush, shut up.
Have you met Bush Tornado, by the way? This is Bush.
Is the tornado caused by Bush or made of Bush? Is it Bush? Just a bunch of Bush?
It's a family name. So, I mean, everyone knows senators are kind of like the co-hosts to the president. And I haven't really been paying too much attention to politics. So I was just wondering if you think that your co-host, AKA the president, is killing it as much as I think my co-host, Gary, is.
Very nice. Well, let me tell you, let me say, in this current presidential campaign, one of the folks running has a history of calling women fat pigs, ugly lesbians, horse-faced semen hoses, varicose vein bat wings, colostomy bags full of semen,
Wow.
eating labradoodle assholes,
Wow. When you lay it out,
wet nurse
see.
wannabes. Frankly, it's embarrassing. And that man, of course, is my dear friend Joe Biden.
To my question to everybody is,
The plan for the future.
well, wait a second, Senator. Wait a second. Hang on, Senator. I think some of us also know other nicknames that Joe Biden has given women.
Oh,
and if anyone would please.
I'm listening. I'm always wanting to add to my roster.
Joe Biden has referred to women as men with floppy parts,
Scrotal parking spots.
Penny for flute players.
sniffy friends,
Cosmic hose bags.
lunch.
Loch Ness hipsters.
Craigslist beach trash.
Poop.
Bad dudes. Bad as in incorrect.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Multiple lists. Thank you.
Softball players.
Yeah. Don't say that.
All right, S-ball players.
Wonderful. My plan with Joe Biden and frankly the rest of the Democratic Party is not only are we going to reach across the aisle, we're going to reach under the table as well. And we are going to, you know what I mean?
Is that
Cross the aisle,
You,
under the
table?
cross the aisle,
it's a,
under the table.
you,
And bring America together. We are going to march, frankly. We are going to march our nasty feet down that nasty reflecting pool, and we're going to go to the White House, and we are going to say, America, I demand to see your manager.
Elizabeth Warren. A strong message.
That was
from
beautiful.
Thank you.
a
Thank
strong
you.
woman. Senator, are you going to hang out with us for our final guest?
Yes, I'd love to watch that little man. Yes.
How do you know how tall he is, Senator? This guy, in my head, is an author, a hacking expert, a military genius, a soft-spoken J.D. Salinger of comedy. He can be seen on Worcester's cable access Steve Wilkos. Most notably, his life is intertwined with mine forever. Please welcome the very funny Jere Pilapil, everybody.
Hey, everybody! I'm happy to be here because I require all my conversations to be recorded in video and also distributed live for the masses. I don't talk to a lot of people as a result of that, but you know, I think it's a good policy. It worked for Nixon. I'm sure it would work for Trump if he could hit the record button. And those are my top two heroes. I've known all of the men of the world, and those were the best ones I could find.
Those are the absolute best.
Yeah.
You've been quarantined okay, buddy?
I've been using this quarantine time, you know, we can't like do regular comedy shows, whatever. So I've just been, binging Gilmore Girls and learning about emotions.
The thing about Gilmore Girls is you can learn about emotions so fast.
It's talked so quickly. Yeah. It's like I learned like 5 per line of dialogue, and there was a lot of dialogue in those things. I'm like halfway through the show, so I think I've learned half the emotions. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. Maybe take up. I don't know. I don't know if I could fit a tennis court in here, but I have not. I haven't tried, and I will only learn if I try.
Oh man, I've been playing tennis.
Oh man, nice.
Yeah, I've been playing with Heather, who you saw earlier, and
your teen bride.
My teen bride. she really kicks my ass.
Are you playing tennis because you look like John McEnroe if his rage was like also not talented?
I got sort of a John McEnroe-ish quality to me. I do throw the racket. Well, we made the mistake today where usually we play like 10 games. She'll beat me in 9, and then by a fluke I'll win 1. But we made the mistake of starting the game today with just volleying for a while, and then which was fun. So then when we went back to playing a regular game, I realized how unfun it is because it's just like it just never gets going. You know, it constantly feels like we're about to play a game, and then we never do.
I also like edging.
You're a devout Mormon, I forgot.
Yeah.
Jere, what I admire most about you, Jere, can I call you?
Yeah.
It's
Jeremy?
I'm gonna give you this one just because Bush Tornado kicked your ass so badly at the beginning of the show.
BT throwing the heat. Your tastes, and you don't apologize for this, are very much that of a junior high school girl. You love pugs. You're into Taylor Swift. How can I get that type of confidence to believe that I can like things and be manly?
Just give up on having a career or friends. That's the top thing to do.
You don't just like stuff that teenage girls like. You also like wrestling, so stuff that junior high boys like too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the other side of the coin. I like Taylor Swift and everything, but I also like wrestling and My Chemical Romance. And there's nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And unless somebody can prove it to me, which I'm sure someone on Reddit could, if I asked.
That's a strength. I'm going to like the things I like, and I don't care if they're silly. I had a box of like old CDs at my dad's house, and I started looking through like the first CDs I ever bought: pop music, dumb metal, reggae, a lot of like weird stuff for a suburban a kid with no friends.
I think both of us, Gary, you and I, we both just like what we liked, like Jere.
Yeah.
I happen to just only like really cool stuff, but I think you're 10 years younger than me, and you love Alice in Chains, which is crazy to me. Anyone younger than me, like, I feel like if you're my age, you can be grandfathered into liking Alice in Chains, because like I remember when Rooster came out and we were like, this is fucking, yeah, you hear the new Mad Season album? Like, but you're 10 years younger than me. Alice in Chains was so lame by the time you started to listen to music. How can you possibly like a band that sings about miserable furniture?
Here's what I would like to do, and the angry chair is right behind me. Let me say that Jere will answer that question as me, but with his confidence.
Rob, sometimes you got a chair and it's angry, and you relate to it. You got a sad chair too, but it's not that good. It's torn up and everything. But an angry chair, that's got a lot of going under the surface, under the stuffing, under the leather. You can really rock out to that one, and it'll hang with you.
See, Rob attacks me in a way, and I don't know how to defend my own tastes or culture.
I think you're out of a good start hiring an emotional co-host. Co-host. That's a good start. Then you go into therapy and you let them know that Rob's a piece of shit.
There's so many things that Gary's into that I'm like, why are you like, why does a man as young as you love the band as much as you do? But hey, the band's good, that's fine. But Alice in Chains.
Yeah, Gary, get into Korn, because it's the same thing. It's the same thing without the guitar solos taking up time that could be used yelling at your dad.
I just don't like bagpipes and metal right now. I'm just not ready for it.
Okay, well, call me in 10 years.
Allison is Rob's sister.
My sister is Allison. I don't know if she's watching. Probably not. Allison Crean originally, now Allison Golden. Allison Golden. Is that what is that? Nee Crean. Oh.
Okay.
Is there anything, Jere, that you get self-conscious about in your tastes?
No, I'm happy, sharing the things I love. I think that the internet's very supportive. I like my bubble that keeps all the assholes out.
There's definitely stuff that I'm into that I am like that I don't like to talk about. No, I'm into like I love Rick and Morty, which I don't like to talk about because their fan base is terrible. I love
the cartoon.
Tim and Eric, Faith No More. These are all things that I love, but their fan base is such a dog shit that I like keep it to myself most of the time.
I think it's okay to like what you like, and even though there are let's call them Robs out there, will stop you from liking them. I think the way to bring us all together is just through the things that we really enjoy. Is there, other guests want to share things that they like but might be embarrassed about?
You know me, I'm a big Woody Allen head. Love the man.
And they should let Woody Allen direct their next 10 movies.
Not so much a big fan of his movies, but I've been following him for quite a while now, and I just think he's great.
So just like his books and stand-up?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Some of and I think he has an interesting life. I like hearing about his life. And also, I used to really be into the Dixie Chicks, but then, well, you know what they said.
I don't.
What did they say?
They were mean about a president.
With a last name that is the same as your first name?
Do I have to say it?
Remember when there was a tornado and that president was the president, and then Kanye West said that that George Bush doesn't care about B-word people.
And do you guys remember when Rob thought Hurricane Katrina was a tornado? I do. It just happened.
What's the difference? Explain the difference, Gary. Explain it.
One is a tropical storm.
What's the other one?
It's massive. The other one's caused by hot air, cold air collision. You fucking moron piece of shit. That's my
slay his
character.
ass, Gary.
It's the Boston science teacher who has to put everybody down. Water cycle starts with evaporation, leads to condensation. You fucking scumbags.
I know how wind works. I don't know why people think I don't know how wind works. I know how wind works.
When Bush landed that plane on that aircraft carrier and he's wearing that jumpsuit, I remember that was a moment that I fell in love with him. He was so fucking hot. That's all I can think about. Like the whole entire day. It was like his bulge was out of this world. It was the biggest bulge I have ever seen. And I was like, that is a man. I was also listening to a lot of Ann Coulter at the time, so maybe that was a problem with me. But
her band Ann in Chains was really good, by the way. It's one of my favorites. I'm gonna throw it to the Warrens. It looks like she's been joined by her husband. Is it Bruce?
Bruce. This is Bruce. Let me prove that we're married.
I'm Bruce.
That was a passionate kiss. Yeah,
Senator, do you have an OnlyFans for content like that?
ewarren@aol.com.
I'm Bruce. I'm the husband.
My husband, Bruce.
We are married.
Really very much in love.
Bruce, how long have you been married for?
My favorite band is Cannibal Corpse.
Could you sing a little for us?
Liz doesn't like it when I have fun.
Wow, they really are married. That's just a classic old school joke right there.
Rob Green layup, ladies and gentlemen.
Look, let's talk about me. So my little guilty pleasures. Okay, Ben & Jerry's in the flavor Fat Wife. It's like Chubby Hubby, but
Got more peanut butter.
I love Fat Wife
And the
and
semen core, the new.
the Semen Core. Ben & Jerry's new Semen Core. I also love Insane Clown Posse. I'm like, down with the clown, woo woo. I go to the gathering of the Juggalos every year. We canceled early due to COVID, and that was at my suggestion.
I'm allowed to watch.
I'm also a really big fan of Snoop Lion.
Snoop Dogg's reggae record.
Yes, I don't much care for gangster rap, so I don't listen to the dog face. I only like the true identity of Snoop Lion.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I don't, too much cursing.
There is a lot of cursing, certainly in gangster rap.
C-wording.
A lot of C-wording.
You don't even say curse. Cursing.
And by the way, for anyone that's watching live now, if you have anything that you love that you're embarrassed to love, please write it in the comments, and I'll share it with everyone.
And while we're sifting through the comments, I'm gonna put a comedian on the spot because Jere, you're undoubtedly one of my favorite people to watch do what you call live comedy, what I call art in motion. Would you entertain one of my favorite jokes? I believe I've sent you the joke. If you know in question, would you mind teeing it up for us?
Oh, you want the famous pug bit?
Oh, famous pug bit, please.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, you guys know the pug? He's got a big face and a little butt. And it wiggles. It wiggles about. Oh boy. His tail is red muffin. What a dumbass animal. It's so fucking stupid. You should put him in an oven. Anyway.
That really takes a turn.
This is good. This is good. It's a good show, but I cried.
That was great.
I just want to eat them.
Rob, you got any questions, any comments from our listeners?
Nope.
What a strong way to end the show.
Oh, I guess yeah.
Oh.
I guess there's a band called I think maybe it's a band that someone doesn't like called Quit Doing the Show.
I don't like that band.
Yeah, I guess someone likes them and are ashamed of. Oh wait, Gary Looks Sick. I guess there's a band called Gary Looks Sick that people are embarrassed to like.
I don't like those 6-wave ska bands.
It was that era of weird band names that were silly, quirky, like pop rock, like Fountains of Wayne.
R.I.P.
Those. Gary Looks Sick.
This is weird. I'm looking at the comments too, and I suggest all of you check the comments. There's a band called Rob is at Real Epstein. I don't know what that means. What band that is.
I'm so out of pop music lately. I don't know.
There's a band called Rob is Unemployed Captain Crunch. Sounds cool.
Have you guys heard of this band? Someone's talking about a band called Violently Bald.
I think there's also a band called Gary Loves Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
It's a good band.
Oh, GLTT.
There's a Zoom concert actually streaming live for this band called Rob is Kennedy Red.
Ask not what your Gary can do for you. Ask what you can do for your Gary.
There's another band called Is That What 42-Year-Olds Are Supposed to Look Like?
So yeah, thanks everyone for writing down these, telling us these bands that you're embarrassed to.
And this other thing is interesting. It's really good, and it's more of a Broadway project. It's called Rob's the Lead in Philadelphia the Musical. That was.
Well, yeah, I have lost a little weight. Thank you.
That intermittent fasting that you're doing.
Yep. Yeah, it's been a while since one of those fasts has come up, but I'm doing them intermittently.
I think we had a blast today.
Thanks everyone for being here. Thanks for being here for the co-host with Creany and the Gipper. Let's give all of ourselves a round of applause. Keep it going for Elle Levine. Keep it going for Jere Pilapil. Keep it going for Bush Tornado. Keep it going for Senator Elisabeth Warren. And also, for no reason, just a round of applause for Tim Bargulis and Lisa Lang. And hey, why not throw in a round of applause for Mark Gallagher?
If you enjoyed the show, send any money at all to @Gipper2020 so we can buy Rob a new face and pay the performers. We thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. My co-hosts, Bush Tornado and Creany Rob Crean.
Thanks a lot, guys.
It
is frankly.
I like that movie.
I don't like that band.
I disagree, Gary.